Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a quick garden update type of video. I know there's several people here that's strictly just for the garden stuff, kind of seeing how it's going and how things are growing in our area. So I'll be sure to include a lot of these, especially as things are just now starting to produce. So it's getting kind of exciting out there. Let's jump right in it. So once again, we'll start with the old bell peppers right here. I mean, they're starting to get larger and larger. I've just got them on every plant. That one's got two, a lot of them got two. That one over there, it has 3 of them on it. So they're producing well, they're blowing up. Actually, I hardly ever plant red and green bell pepper, red and yellow. I always do green. So I don't know what point I expect these to start turning, but I'll be looking forward to that. The old zucchini here hasn't been doing the world's best. I gave an update in that video there. It's just kind of poor soil conditions, although it is still producing. As you can see right here, we've done picked several off of these plants. Right now I have them covered in that diatomaceous earth. That's what all that white stuff right there is, because we've been having a little bit of a problem with squash bugs showing up. Nothing much to show off here with the fruit trees, other than I need to get those in the ground. So out to the garden. Okra, if you've watched, that's kind of been a struggle. I've had a recently discovered ant problem where they are chewing all into those. So I'm putting diatomaceous earth on this, and believe it or not, the last few days, that alone looks to have ran the ants off. I've also ordered ground cinnamon that I'll sprinkle throughout here. Read online that's really good for them. And I'm also waiting on a product called Orange Guard. It's a citrus spray, all natural, and it's supposed to kill all kinds of bugs on contact. So if that stuff ever shows up, shipping is so delayed right now with everything, I'll spot treat ants as I see them. But just dusting it with the diatomaceous earth, the ants have kind of ran out of here. So I'll continue to do that. I just watered, so I definitely don't want to dust it right now while everything's wet. I'll wait for it to dry out. Peppers, hit or miss. I got all different kinds out here. Can't even remember what they all are. Jalapenos, green bells, and a sweet pepper that I can't half pronounce. So we'll see what starts producing as these get a little tall. Y'all know my favorite, Silver Queen sweet corn. This stuff just, I mean, every time I come out here, I feel like it's just growing like crazy. Actually, some of it's already starting to put some tops on. So I'm nervous and excited at the same time about this. I've never planted corn this thick before, but this is a very rich soil, as you can see by just the color. I just hope it doesn't affect how they start putting ears of corn on, but it's one way to find out. I watched other people on YouTube doing raised bed garden, and they planted even thicker than this. So time will tell. Potatoes doing very, very well. So really excited about those. Got to keep a constant check on these for potato beetles. That's kind of a problem down here in Florida, but I don't see where any of the leaves or anything getting ate up. I've yet to discover a beetle. Bush beans, man, hit or miss, but it's a bit late in the season to be planting more. I took a viewer's advice. I'll talk about that here in a minute, and we're going to plant a few more here and see what happens. A couple cantaloupes. Since I could not get cucumbers to grow for some reason, stuck a few of them down. We'll let some grow on a trellis and see how that works. That was another viewer recommended idea. Corn and some random bush beans over here doing quite well. Actually, I need to go ahead and heal that corn up right now before we get another windstorm. That corn's plenty tall enough that it needs a little extra support. Blueberries out here doing quite well. I've been watering these in daily since I planted them. Want to make sure they take root real good. No air pockets down there. Pack that in. And my lonely little old grapevine out here. We've got to get some more here coming up next week or two and put more on this trellis that I just built. More cantaloupes. They're doing fantastic. Color looks great. Vines are starting to run everywhere. Getting pretty excited about those. Cannot wait to eat some cantaloupes. Squash and zucchinis doing fantastic. The browned up leaves that you see right here, that's because when I burnt this grass off, some of the heat come up there and actually wilted the leaves. And if you watch the other episode, I am kind of struggling with squash beetles out here, squash bugs, whatever you want to call them. I discovered a few. I've been dusting like crazy with diatomaceous earth. I just watered, so that's why most of it's washed off. But I've got it all up under the leaves, and I'm going to continue to treat those and get after them. I'm seeing some squash in here that are ready. I'm excited. This is my first picking of squash, so I'm going to bring y'all along for that. So I'm noticing on some plants, and y'all back me up if you think this is correct. Like this particular one right here, I've been watching. It has like literally 6 pieces of squash on it at the same time. And I think that's because my soil is so rich. It's too rich. It's got a lot of nitrogen, and that should tone down by next year. But this plant is trying to produce so many squash at the same time, they're just not filling out well. It's been my experience in the past, if you say have a plant try to produce more than 1 or 2 at one point in time, it can't put all of its energy into producing those if it's trying to spread it out amongst so many other ones. So some of them are kind of yellowing up, not looking the world's best. Like that one right there, that's not producing well at all. It's got several like this on there. So I think what I'm going to do is take these off and let it try to focus its energy into producing all these other little baby ones that I see coming. Now it did get me one good one like that right there. I think that's going to be the ticket though. It still has 3 on it right now that are small. Now I'm hoping it can put all its energy into those, since it's not trying to focus on those right there. We've already been picking some zucchini, but jackpot, we got a couple more that's ready today. All right, not bad for our first picking, and it looks like there will be quite a few more ready tomorrow. Now, I had no intentions of planting any more beans. It's just so late in the year, but I stumbled across them yesterday. I didn't even know I had any more. A subscriber suggested if you soak your beans overnight, maybe they'll grow a little better, because I have been struggling with getting beans to grow. Now, I will also admit, it's several weeks ago that I was planting them, and we had a lot of mornings in the 40s and low 50s for Florida. That could have had something to do with it, but I did not soak mine originally. That could have been the biggest part of the problem. So I've soaked a few. We're going to throw them in. That's the fun thing about gardening. Just experiment. I know it's probably the wrong time, but I've got a little extra bed space. Why not? I'm gonna plant these a bit thick, and if they come up thick, I'll just thin them out later. You know, beans, I just thought of something. Beans are known for being a nitrogen fixer. So I'm wondering if I'm struggling with these beans because this is such a nitrogen rich soil. I'd appreciate some input on that as well, if y'all have any experience with that. So I may have had too rich a soil this year. I'm starting to notice some things. Everything's green and loves it, but certain things, especially like the squash and zucchini, they're trying to overproduce as a result. So I think the soil's going to be even better come next year. Probably waited a bit long to hill up my corn, especially being that I do have some beans kind of in the middle there, and I'll probably go ahead and stick a few more since I have some in the cup over there. But all I'm gonna do is just throw dirt to this corn, so it'll entice new root growth up higher and just support it a little better in all these windstorms we've been getting. And since I still have a few beans left over, I'll stick them in here. Although probably not expecting a good success rate here. They're going to get shaded out by the corn, and again, it's mighty late. But there's one way to find out. Alright, so not a bad little score today. This is our first squash picking, and it's just going to continue to come in more and more every day to the point I'm probably filling that little bucket up. Several new zucchinis, we've already done picked them. I think this is our third picking, so they're starting to come in stronger. So I'm looking forward to a lot more squash and zucchini. You know, I can't remember if I've ever shown this room off on this channel before. If you watch our other outdoor YouTube channel, you've seen this room a lot. We do a lot of cooking in here, and I built this specifically for processing vegetables and meat. It's a bit jumped up right now because we're living out of this room in our camper, but once we get the house, this room will get cleared out a lot more, and I'll be remodeling the inside and have some more stuff to show there. But in the future, you're probably going to see a lot of vegetable processing in here, cooking, and whatever else y'all may request. So what we'll do now is I'll leave these like this and see if Tiffany wants to cook any tonight or tomorrow. If not, we'll probably get another picking tomorrow and get out her mandolin, and we actually thin slice them, vacuum seal them, and freeze them. We don't even blanch them. I know a lot of people think that's what you have to do with these. That does help with some taste and mainly texture, but how we cook a lot of frozen squash and zucchini is cut them up in thin chips, vacuum seal them. They last a long time. They don't get freezer burnt that way. And then we'll put them in a pan with some onions, olive oil, a little bit of seasoning, and saute them basically. We love doing okra that way as well. So that's one of the main ways we like to cook it. Now fresh, we'll cut it up in chips, fry it. You can make casseroles, all kinds of stuff with especially squash, man. I've been looking forward to some of that. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy these little garden updates. There'll be a lot more of them, and hopefully you start seeing this garden producing very well. Thanks for watching.